this moment, it gives me great pleasure to invite to the stage the man who is unquestionably the driving force behind Chabad of Camarillo, the emissary of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Aryeh Lang.
Thank you, Rabbi Yosef. Good evening, everyone. In preparation for this evening, it was getting close, and I was concerned about the success of tonight's event being our first concert. I was also thinking about what message did I want to share? So many thoughts, 18 years. What message did I want to share this evening with our esteemed friends, family, and community members here this evening? As a chassid, an emissary of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, whose picture graces the stage, I looked to the Rebbe for his blessings and guidance. Growing up in Brooklyn, my parents, who I am blessed to have here this evening, they would write letters and receive replies for the Rebbe for my bar mitzvah and other occasions. As we know, the Rebbe had more mail than any other citizen of the United States, maybe other than the president. The life of the righteous are eternal. The Rebbe's blessings and guidance continue to guide me today and my wife Leah, as well as thousands of people in Hasidim and non-Hasidim around the world. One of the methods to which I turn to receive blessings and guidance today, I opened up a random book of the Rebbe's letters. The Rebbe wrote letters to thousands of people, Jews and non-Jews, answering questions to world leaders and to little children over the course of 40 years. I took a random book, I opened up a letter, it says, I need some guidance. Pressure is on. And my two questions. Number one, success tonight. Number two, give me an idea of what to share. I open up the letter, it's a letter written in 1961. In the letter it says, on your letter that you write on the 22nd et Tevet, you know what date it is this evening? The 22nd of Tevet. That's today's Hebrew date. And the Rebbe says, thanks for sharing the good news. The Rebbe continues and says, for your work in teaching Judaism, may you be blessed by God and your family, both physically and spiritually. And then the Rebbe concludes quoting words from today's Torah portion, Parshat Va'era. Thus, I felt very happy that tonight's evening had the Rebbe's blessings, that's for sure, for success. But I still needed my second question answered. What would I share this evening? So then I looked on the other side of the page, and the answer was right there. The Rebbe was writing to participants of a gala to help raise funds for the Central Chabad Yeshiva, Tomchei Tmimim, written on the 24th of Teves, which is the anniversary of the passing of the first Rebbe of Chabad, which we will celebrate and mark this coming Tuesday. The Rebbe writes the following story and says that this story has a special meaning to the participants of the gala. When Rabbi Menachem Mendel, the third Chabad Rebbe, who lived in the year from the year 1779 to 1866, when he was a young boy, he was studying that Jacob lived for 17 years in Egypt. His teachers explained to him that these were his best years and asked his father that these were his best years. He asked his grandfather, the founder of Chabad, Reb Shneer Zalman, how could Jacob, the greatest of the forefathers, live his best years in Egypt, the spiritually lowest and depraved place? His grandfather replied, the verse says that Jacob sent him Yehuda, Judah, his son, to open a school, a Jewish school, to teach Torah. And when you study Torah, you are connected even in Egypt. And you will live the best years, spiritually connected years of your life. The Rebbe continues the lesson in saying that whenever the Jewish people open up a new area, establish a new community in a new place, wherever and whenever that may be, the first thing is to establish a place of Torah study, not only for the elderly, but for the young children, for the next generation. This is the foundation of a Jewish community. and ensures that the years should be the best years, both spiritually connected years and the best year physically as well. The Rebbe continued in saying that by studying Torah and those that support that organization, they also receive a great measure of blessing from God in all their needs. The Rebbe concluded the letter with a greeting to the guests and hope that the annual dinner will create needed means to strengthen and spread the work of the organization and the Rebbe's holy signature. This letter spoke very deeply to me, as I found many parallels in the story of Chabad being established in Camarillo. Like Jacob, who grew up in Israel, the Holy Land, and then moved to Egypt, my wife and I, and our oldest daughter, Mushka, who was 6 months old, were embarking on moving from the epicenter of Judaism in a diaspora, Brooklyn, New York. A large Jewish community with a bakery and a kosher restaurant on every block and a synagogue, 2 per block. In fact, we were moving to a beautiful place, Camarillo, but as far as Judaism, I spoke to a Jewish prominent businessman in Camarillo, and he told me, "You're moving where? To Camarillo? There's 4 Jews." And he started naming them. I said, "Oy gewalt. Where would we get kosher food? Where would we be able to celebrate our traditions, our Jewish holidays? And most importantly, who would teach our children Torah, the foundation of the Judaism?" I remember we moved to California. It was December 2002. That's when we received a call from a mom who frantically was saying, "My kids, they can't sing any Hanukkah songs, and it's December. They know all the non-Jewish carols. We need a Jewish preschool." Her words touched my heart. I turned to Leah. I said, "We have to start a Jewish preschool." Thus, Gan Camarillo, an institution of Jewish learning for the youngest members of the community, began in our home. Like in the story of Jacob, who lived his 17 best years in Egypt, our family and friends are comforted to know that we are celebrating our 17 best years yet here in Camarillo. As we reach into the 18th year, the year of Chai, 18 being the number Chai means life, we are reminded that to live means to connect to something higher than yourself, and most importantly, to bring and enhance the life of other people. When we see lives being transformed and people becoming leaders, giving life to others, when we see our students being counselors in Jewish day camps, both locally and around the country, when we see people volunteering to bring soup to a homebound senior, to running a Shabbat service in an assisted living, making a minyan for a funeral for someone who has no living relatives, or paying a shiva call to a community member they never met but know the needs, the support of the community. When we see people volunteering for saving lives, drug and alcohol prevention, to help ensure the safety of our local teens they may never meet, making sure they can grow up as contributing members of society, unhindered by drugs. We remember why we are here on earth, and that these years are indeed the 17 best years of our life. The letter further talked about the people that support and advocate for this organization, that they will be blessed with much blessings both from God, both physically and spiritually. I extend the blessings from that letter I received to everyone that's here today who help support Chabad and make Chabad happen every single day of the year, as the doors of Chabad has a service 365 days a year. Be it through your financial support, your partnership, or volunteering, participating in Chabad programs. Now it's the time to forge further, enhancing our effort in the next 18 years to come. Today, as we celebrate at Rancho Campana Performing Arts Center, we must ring the campana, which means bell, to inspire ourselves and those around us with life, with Jewish pride, to be a light unto the nations.